Hey guys, so I'm James AYOTTE. I am the head coach of Team Atlas. We are one of the biggest bikini teams in the world. We coach about 300 bikini athletes right now. My executive assistant is Jennifer Dory, and my exclusive posing teacher is Angeline Johnson. So I was actually always an entrepreneur my entire life. I started my first business at 16 years old. I started investing in real estate at 17 years old, and So I was selling online services for the bigger part of my adolescent career until my early 20s, where I discovered working out and dieting. So what happened is I was actually obese up until I was 21 years old. I weighed 322 pounds, and one day I just decided that it was time to get healthier and focus more on myself, and instead of my online business. So I went full into the gym, bodybuilding, dieting, everything I could. I lost 140 pounds in a year and a half, and I just fell in love with the whole lifestyle and everything like that. So I started personal training, just regular people in the gym and stuff like that, and it wasn't my thing. I wasn't as good at it as I could have been, because I wasn't passionate about it. So I had a friend who did her first bodybuilding competition, and I went to it, and I was so intrigued, and I loved the look of the physiques, and I loved how hard they had to train to get to that elite level of competition shape. So I prepped my first athlete. We won the overall together, and then I just fell in love with the whole process, and I haven't looked back ever since. It's been about 4.5 years since I've been coaching athletes now. So obviously you need genetics, but before genetics, you need to be accountable with your dieting and training. A lot of people, discredit bikini athletes because they're smaller than the average bodybuilder, and they say they don't need to train hard. But I promise you, a lot of these bodybuilders can't even do a bikini workout. These girls train extremely hard. They do probably more cardio than most bodybuilders, and they really push themselves. The only difference is they're not doing huge compound exercises like deadlifts and stuff, because that may thicken their waist. So they kind of avoid those big compound exercises. But besides that, these girls train extremely hard. If you're not able to diet and follow a structured protocol, then you're not going to be able to achieve success in the division, or as a bodybuilder in general, because it doesn't matter how good your genetics are if you're not able to get competition weight. So that is the main thing, is being accountable with yourself, being accountable with your coach, and being able to follow a strict diet. Second is definitely genetics. Bikini is all about an X-frame. You need like a bubbly look in your muscle bellies. You want really as small waist as possible. You don't want shredded abs. You want a flat stomach. It's ideal if your clavicle is wide, so you have wide shoulders, and it exaggerates the X-frame. And typically you want a little bit longer legs than your torso. So if your legs are a little bit too short, it kind of throws off the balance of your physique, but you want a good overall balance in your physique, and you want to look like a healthy, aesthetic female athlete. You don't want dense, hard, grainy muscle. So the reason why bikini is complicated to coach is because there's a very fine line. Unlike all the guy divisions, guys, you got to get as shredded as possible. That's your goal. There's no like, okay, are we too shredded? No. But for bikini, if you're 5%, even 2% over that fine line, you're gonna lose. So you need to really nail that exact bikini criteria condition that the judges are looking for. Yeah, you got to be consistent with your diet. I've had girls turn pro in one show with me, many girls, the first time they joined my team. But it's just basically you need the confidence on stage. You need the poise when you pose. You need to bring out your. There's a lot of girls actually on stage when they say, oh, I can't pose, I'm nervous. But the thing is, when you're on stage, it's exactly as if you're an actor. You gotta be, you're putting on an act on stage. It's not you. You gotta bring out a different character than what you normally would. Yeah, so there's definitely a lot more girls competing now in the bikini division, but I feel like every category is actually growing because there's just more people getting interested in bodybuilding every year. So yeah, every year it's harder to turn pro than last year. That's just, if you look at the girls, let's say in the current year versus the previous year, even at the Olympia, the caliber is always higher and higher and higher. So let's say you go back to like the 2012, 2013 Olympia, and look at the girls today, it's a totally different ball field. The girls that are winning pro shows in like 2012, 2013 would look barely pro in this day and age, because the sport is advanced. There's different posing. The criteria is a little bit more, cemented in, where you need like an exact frame, and you need, perfect symmetry and stuff too. And a lot of girls were a lot softer back then too. The division isn't too old. It's nearly probably 10 years old, about that. So initially it was more of like kind of like a beach body type look, not really any definition, not really any too structured posing. The glutes weren't as big, round, and defined as they are today. So yeah, today definitely I would think it's much harder to achieve a bikini Olympian look than it was back then. I have 4 bikini athletes this year competing at the 2020 Olympia. So I have Jennifer Dory, Laura Lee Chapados, Monica Ellis, and Natasha Coleman. They're my 4 bikini athletes competing at the 2020 Olympia. Last year I just had Jennifer Dory and Laura Lee. They placed 4th and 5th consecutively. And the year before I only had Jennifer Dory. She placed 10th. That was her first Olympia. So I really feel confident this year that we might take the title. You know, obviously everyone's fighting for it, so that's the whole goal. We're not going there to come, you know, we're not going there to lose, we're going there to win. Both my top girls in the top 5, Jennifer and Laura Lee, are looking absolutely ridiculous right now. They're going to really push hard for that #1 spot. Both of them, I think it's very possible that they come 1st and 2nd place. I mean, they're both going to be so much more improved than last year by a significant, you know, margin. Posing is much better. Laura Lee last year was on track to, you know, do phenomenal, and then she had a back injury 13 days out and it completely destroyed everything. She managed to come 4th place, coming in at about 60% of her potential. So this year we're on the money, and Jennifer Dory's never looked this good this far out from the show. So she's really confident. I'm really confident about her too, and she looks amazing. Monica Ellis is a new athlete for me. We've changed her entire posing, and she's definitely going to be at her best this show too. Natasha Coleman is going to be at her best as well. She just did a show 2 weeks ago in Atlanta and came 2nd place at the Chicago Pro there. It all goes back to understanding how to run a business. That's all it is. So I mean, you know, we coach about 300 clients right now in prep and probably another 150 lifestyle, and we work 10-12 hours a day, 7 days a week, like easily. We're on top of everything. We're extremely organized. We have great systems in place so that we're able to accommodate every athlete and make them feel like they're really, you know, valued. So I never really get feedback, even though we have so many athletes that we're coaching at a time. We never get feedback that, oh, I don't have enough attention. Or that does not happen on Team Atlas. So of course I have Jennifer Dory. She is unbelievable with my clients and her customer service. She does all the inquiries for me and a lot of the tedious tasks that would take too much time away from me, where I can focus on making the diets and stuff for the clients. We have Angeline Johnson and Claire, actually, who just joined, assist Angeline in doing all the posing for my clients. So it's all about like teamwork. I love my girls that work with me. You know, I wouldn't even call them employees, they're partners for sure. And we just, you know, we do a killer job together, and we have a really good dynamic where we're able to bring the best out of every athlete that we coach. So posing is make or break, you know, definitely. So if you have an amazing physique and you can't display it, there's no point. You're not going to win. You're not going to go pro. That's what it is. So we do posing is extremely important for bikini, probably more important than any other class. Since you only have a front and back pose for bikini, you need to really display confidence on stage, as I said earlier, and you know, you need to really bring it. And that's a lot of girls have a problem with that, because it's not natural to have such confidence and such, you know, be able to walk like they do, and you know, bring the swag that's required on the stage to win. And especially when you get up to the pro level in the Olympia, there's no room for even marginal error. You got to be like on your game. You got to be. All these girls pose well, you know, in the top 10 Olympia. So you got to really bring it. You got to really. These girls are professional athletes, you know. So, and it's not just a physique in this sport, which is cool, but it's actually, you know, everything else that goes into it. They have stretching routines that do every day to be able to pose and be flexible in the certain ways that they do for posing, that they're required to do every single day. They do certain vacuum exercises so that they're able to strengthen their transverse abdominis, so that they'll be able to keep their stomach tight on stage. There's so many things that goes into posing, especially on Team Atlas, that we, you know, take pride in. That's why, you know, when Team Atlas, I would say, is the best team in the world for bikini posing. I say that strongly. I'm not going to say we're the best team in the world yet until I win the Bikini Olympia, but definitely for posing, it is, you know, I would say definitely we're the best posing team in the world. And that is a big reason for that is because we have Angeline Johnson, and she is exclusive to Team Atlas, and I believe she's the best pose teacher in the world by a large margin. There's no one even close. So I mean, when you're a professional athlete, you need to really take care of your body, and you really need to get, like, it's like deep tissue massages, you gotta stretch, you gotta do, it's not just going to the gym, eating chicken and going home and you're gonna be a great athlete. You gotta really take care of yourself. And there's definitely a few essential supplements that you know, the athletes need to take to be at their best. There's no reason to do all this work and not, you know, put the right supplements in your body to be able to perform your best. So you need, let's say, like, I would say the go-to supplements that are required for you to be at your best are omega-3s, glutamine. I don't like using creatine for girls, so not that. EAAs during your workout, I would say they're very good but not essential. Protein powder is very good after your workout, but once again, not essential if you're trying to save money. But it is very good because of the fast digesting aspects of it after your workout, since it's in liquid form, and definitely vitamins and minerals. So the first thing you need is a coach. I don't believe in self-coaching. I mean, it is possible to have it done, but if you want to be at top level with Olympia, there's no girl out there that's self-coach, you know, because you need a secondary eye. It's very hard to be objective when you're looking at yourself in the mirror every day, where your check-ins to see if you're properly conditioned enough, or your posing is good, or you need some type of guidance. Also, it's a lot easier if you have a coach to be accountable. You know, you got to wake up, you got to stay in your check-in, you know, and you're not just doing it for yourself. So if you cheat, you know, your coach is going to be like, come on, you know, we gotta get going. You know, you can't just be like, give yourself a break. So definitely the first thing would be get a coach. Secondary, make sure the coach has, you know, Olympian athletes. There's no point, if you're trying to turn pro, there's no point to go coach that has no pros or very minimal. You know, you want the best of the best. So I'm not the only one that has Olympian bikini athletes, so there's definitely a few coaches out there that can help you out with that. Another thing, don't skip on the essentials like the suit. Like, don't rent a crap suit for a show. You gotta really budget yourself to be able to afford all the essentials. Don't do your own makeup going to the show. Don't do your own hair. Get a suit. Get a proper tan from the official company. You know, get the proper heels. I see somebody goes like, oh, I kind of want to like get like a cheaper suit. It's like you're dieting for months on end. You're doing hours and hours of cardio. You're starving to death. You're training hard, and then you want to save $200 in a suit, which can make or break first place or second place. That is the key thing, I think, is that you need to budget yourself and prioritize all of the essentials that go into the bikini competition prep if you're looking to actually win. If you're doing it just for fun, then I guess you can take shortcuts. But if you're trying to turn pro and you need to take shortcuts in, you know, the small things, that's gonna make or break you. So, you know, a lot of girls say, oh, the suit doesn't matter, or that it makes a difference. It makes a difference. Like, the suit cut specifically can completely change the shape of your glutes. You know, the top, the way it fits on, you know, your upper body can change the entire shape of your torso thing. And don't skip on posing too. Don't try to learn posing from YouTube. It's ridiculous. Every body is different, and there's not like a set template that, okay, you got to do this for the transitions and the walk. Everybody's different. Every body looks different, and everybody needs different posing. So you need a really experienced posing teacher. Unfortunately, there's not very many that are great, and I honestly can't really recommend any besides Angeline, who coaches Team Alice, because I haven't seen anyone coach athletes with posing very consistently that I could recommend. That's just the truth. But yeah, I would definitely do your best, try to get the best posing teacher as you can, and be consistent with your practice too. You know, it's very obvious on stage when a girl's in practice posing. You know, they're not confident, they can't hold their pose like a statue, their stomach's, you know, breathing out, they can't keep their stomach tight, and you know, they don't look like they practice, and it's a huge important factor, you know, the posing I said earlier. So you can find me, you know, I'm Team Alice, so you can look up Instagram Team Alice MTL on Instagram, and you know, all the information is there. I have a website too, you can go through teamalicemtl.com. But I definitely recommend checking out my Instagram. We have some of the most amazing transformations in the world. And I really believe that our marketing is top notch, that you guys are going to have a good experience when you look at my Instagram, and you're going to see all the work that my athletes are putting into their shows.